What it do, YouTube? Today's video, I want to chime in with a quick impromptu video. Today's video, I want to talk about the current state of the world. Yes, the current state of the world. Excuse me. So, right now, we are currently living in a economical crisis. Every generation on this planet that is older than the millennials, or shall I say, that has been on Earth longer than the millennials, such as generations, the 80s, the 90s, excuse me, I'm tweaking it, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, etc., if there's still people alive from that era of like the 30s and the 40s. Excuse me, it might be. But the thing is, each and every last person that's in one of those generations I named has all experienced one or more economical crisis, one or more world wars. Real talk. So at this current stage of the planet where we at right now, the latter days, the end times, you know what I'm saying? Book of Revelation, if you want to take it there. You know, or Katium, the Katium seal, you know what I mean? But we are in the middle of a world war, whether they want to call it that or not. We're in the middle of a world war. We're in the middle of a food shortage, a global food shortage, because most of the agricultural crops that get imported to the USA comes from Ukraine or it comes from Russia. All the crops that we need, agricultural crops, about 85% of them come from Ukraine or they come from Russia. And we having food shortages because Ukraine is busy fighting off Russia and Russia is busy terrorizing Ukraine, and then America's involved in it because America's allies with Ukraine and so on and so forth, things of that nature. So basically, this is really just the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? And I ain't saying that to scare nobody. I know shit like that, but really look at this shit for what it is. Now, don't get it twisted, cause look, listen. Don't get it twisted, cause this conspiracy shit and the media, they flip everything around, and that is true. The conspiracy shit, all that shit, that is true and all that. But that shit will fuck up your mind. See, listen. Let me put you on game real quick. Let me put you on game real quick. Listen. It's the beginning of the end. The government, they only put things out into the masses or the public that they know they can control. They only put things out in the masses that has a curveball effect. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. The government only puts out things that has a curveball effect, aka the cause and effect. What does that mean? What that means is conspiracy. The term conspiracy theorist came out around 1967, where they came up with a way to counteract people who actually could see, who actually had eyes to see, ears to hear, and that wasn't scared to back down, who actually spoke up. 1967, they started deeming them as conspiracy theorists. The government put the term conspiracy out because they knew they could fuck with people's mind. We're gonna put some truth in it, but we're gonna put some lies in it. So people gonna always be talking even now. And this is like back then. Even now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now, people are still gonna be debating. Excuse me, did this happen? Did this happen? I wonder if that happened in this situation. It's a conspiracy. You see what I mean? It's fucking with your mind. Same thing with the media. It's a movie. I forget what the movie was called. They showed us this movie in American history in high school. Right? They showed us this movie in American history, and I think they showed it to us in economics as well. But they showed us this movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but it's basically a movie about how the media like flip shit around and how the media creates stories to divide people, divide and conquer, to segregate people. You know what I mean? Like how they created, like, you got all these different religions, right? Which is really the same thing. And listen, I'm not disrespecting nobody's religion or nothing like that, but it's all really the same thing as in this. And this is what I'm saying. It's the same thing as in everybody is worshiping an entity. Not everybody, but I'm saying people who believe in like Jah, Allah, Buddha, you know what I'm saying? Shiva, or whatever, if you into that type of stuff. But that's a whole different thing right there. But you know, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Jesus Christ, all these different messiahs and shit, they put a different category on them. You know what I mean? They put a different category on them, a different title. Oh, this Christianity. This is this Buddhism. This Hinduism. This that. This Islam. This Muslim. You know what I mean? This all this different shit. But really, y'all all represent the same entity that represent the light. It represents healing, peace, coming together as one. It's just called something different to separate and divide motherfuckers. You know what I mean? But then you got the other real enemy, which is the Satanists. People that's into Luciferianism, Satanism, motherfucking what's that shit called? Atheism. All these different isms. I wonder why. All these different isms. And the Satanist is the real enemy when it comes to religious shit. Because these are people who worship Satan. Who the Most High God, right? The Creator gave Satan, Lucifer, gave him dominion over the earth as his playground. But yeah, it's like, yo, you got dominion over the earth, it's your playground, but you like the landlord. But then the landlord got a boss too, which would be the state or the federal government, so to speak. So yeah, like, you the tenant, you gotta answer to the landlord, and the landlord, yeah, I'm the boss, I'll do this. But you don't even own the building yet, nigga. You gotta go answer to the federal government. You gotta go answer to Section 8 or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta answer to, it's a chain of command. So Satan got to answer to the Most High. So all the shit that's going on is being ordained. Because it was written. It's been ordained by the Most High. For this time to come now that we into. You know what I mean? And watch. Mark my words. There's going to be an economic crash. You got all the top scholars, all the top mathematicians, top economists saying this shit. This ain't just me just, oh, I'm just going to predict this. No, you got top motherfuckers saying this shit. Motherfuckers, the head of corporations running, getting the fuck out of Dodge. They already made enough money they going to ever be able to spend and generational wealth for their family. They made enough of that shit already. I'm telling you, they made enough shit already. So they fleeing. A lot of these people fleeing from these corporations and shit. You know what I mean? Real talk. A lot of these stories are being buried, and then other shit like the Buffalo shooting, the Freddie Gibbs shit, all this other little different shit that they want you to promote because they trying to create a race war. They've been trying to do this shit. They've been trying to do this shit. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers is feeding into it slowly but surely. But the people that's feeding into it slowly but surely is like Satan is using the masses as his pawns to do his dirty work, and then he get rid of them. But essentially, that's really the Most High giving Satan directions on what to do. It's just we, especially if you're not aware of this type of stuff, it's just looking like everyday life, like this stuff is going on. But all this stuff is divinely guided. Everything happened for a reason. That's what I personally believe. That's what I personally believe. You know what I mean? I can't speak for nobody else, but that's what I personally believe. You see what I'm saying? And it's like it's a very tumultuous time, and it's a very wonderful time at the same time because a lot of things are happening that would have never happened 100, 200 years ago and all that type of stuff. And then it's a lot of stuff that's happening that's very bad, very tumultuous. That's happening, you know, as well. You know what I mean? But this type of stuff was already going on 100, 200 years ago. It just wasn't as bad, or maybe now it's probably worse as it was back then. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, the economy gonna crash. Bitcoin gonna crash. All that shit gonna crash. So it's like if you got your money invested in shit, you better get your money while you can out that shit and dip out. I'm telling you, the price of land is going to drop. I'm telling you, that shit's gonna be crazy. The price of land is gonna drop. How do I know this and all this stuff? You can clearly see. You ain't watching the news. You ain't paying attention to what's going on. Oh, I mean, yeah, you watching the news, but you ain't watching the right parts of the news. Oh, I forgot. Because the news can only show you a little bit of stuff you need to see, and then all the other stuff they want you to see. They're not going to send all the real articles and all this real shit that's going on. Then COVID surged up, cases higher than it was back in February and shit. Because they about to get ready and come back with another wave of this shit. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man. This shit crazy. But we living in the end times. All these head governments know it. China, Russia, America, Ukraine, France, Australia. All these motherfuckers know who the chosen motherfuckers is. A lot of them won't come out and say it because they know they already sold their soul to the demigod, the demiurge. That's why they keep going for all the organs. All this killing shit is all for organ harvesting so they can get more money to fund these wars. You know what I mean? Real shit. They can get more money to fund these wars. And get more money to fund different countries so they can make these other different countries go to war. It's just all this shit propaganda, man. This shit is all propaganda, man. I'm telling you, go read a book called Behold the Pale Horse, man. William Cooper, man. Real shit. Shit is real. But wake the damn up. More videos coming soon. And the organ harvesting shit, that's because the demigod, the demiurge, like the real demons that they conjure up, like great alien dragon looking motherfuckers and shit, like some shit that'll really blow your mind. They love organs. When they eat organs, it tastes like mangoes and fruits to these entities, these deities. I'm telling you, bro, go look this shit up. This man, like all these politicians and all that shit, and all these satanic motherfuckers, y'all wonder who they worship? They worship Satan and shit. But Satan not really on the planet, but Satan is more like a spirit. But Satan has minions that works for him. Satan has minions that works for him that goes and do his dirty work, and he employs different motherfuckers like clones, these hate soldiers and shit like that, these hate groups and reptilians and all different type of shit, Jezebel spirits, all that, man. That he is just different chains of command with this shit. And just like the Most High got prophets, messengers, pretty much same thing. The Most High has seers, knowers. You know what I mean? The Most High has warriors too. You know what I mean? That protects. It's just different levels to this shit, man. It's just you got to get in tune with your spirit to really see what's going on. Because a lot of this shit is spiritual. That's what they mean, have your day-lived glasses on. But your day-lived glasses are not physical glasses. They're like more of a spiritual lens. A spiritual glasses you have to put on to be able to see through the illusion. In order to put your spiritual glasses on, you have to get into with your spirit. You have to do a lot of research on what's really going on to really see.